right, everybody. Let's get this show on the road. Or on the air, or whatever. It's 21 days since our last episode. So we, as always, are trying to get back on schedule. But yeah, you know us. We work full-time. Stuff gets crazy. A lot's happened over the past couple weeks, but we're going to try and narrow down the focus to a couple different things specifically. We're going to be talking about the summer of strikes. We're going to be talking a bit of Barbenheimer. But as you can see up in the corner here, big news on the Twitter front. Or I guess, you know, it's still twitter.com, but it's technically not Twitter anymore, I guess. Get the theme music off here. All right, welcome to the Rough Report. I am Jimmy Ruffian. Nat's going to be joining me very shortly, hopefully very shortly. And yeah, so we're talking Elon here. In celebration of Elon's nerd-ass obsession with the letter X, this old gem of a meme. Yeah, what else is there to say? Sucks. It's funny because, like, his whole original, like, venture was X.com, and he ended up, like, you know, selling that or having investors involved, and it eventually became PayPal, which he was fired from. But he still maintained a stake in the company with shares and made a bunch of money off of it that way. So the dude is like a professional fail son. Like, literally, that's his thing. Like, this is how, like, this is the big press release that it's such an aggressive sound too. Like, even when I don't have the volume's kind of low, right? Like, my output volume, I can see it. I have it on my screen here. The metering is pretty low for because when I was listening to this before the show, and I was like, look, blasting my head off in the headphones there. So it's just like, oh, it's so hardcore, it's so edgy. Oh, X, it's just extreme, man. It like all that sort of, like, that vibe from, like, the late 90s where everything had an X in it and that made it cool. It's extreme. It's the X Games. It's the extreme sports. Everything to the extreme, bro. That's the kind of, like, vibes I get off of that. And I think I read somewhere that somebody was saying that, you know, because it's just like the letter X in a certain font. So it's not even really like a copyrightable sort of thing. Like, it's so stupid. That's all I can say about it. I don't know. It's just like, why? What is this obsession with this, like, letter X? And it's like trying to make it the everything app. Why can't something called Twitter be the everything app? Is it because you either have accidentally or quite on purpose, perhaps, made Twitter worse pretty much every day since you've taken control of it? I'm talking like he might hear this. Yeah, right. Sorry, you didn't want to hear me drinking. It's just incredible. The lameness of it. Like, I don't know how else to put it, but it's just so just like some nerdy 14-year-old who really thinks he's cool It's something like that. It's God, it's so funny. Like I'm gonna reach back. I'm gonna go back in my into the past here. You've probably seen this video before, but it's just like, it just goes to show the sort of people he surrounds himself with. And I don't know, like, the awareness that they're being filmed is kind of like vibing off of them. So I don't know how like perfectly candid this is, but this is going a while back. When was this posted? February 9th, by Liz Rummy, Lizard Rumsfeld on Twitter here. But it was obviously aired on something else. I'm not sure what the original source was. The kilowatts. I don't know. Here, I'll put it up on the screen, of course. But yeah, just like the I don't know, awkward teen energy that's just like radiating off these people in this particular video. I thought I heard the door. I thought I heard Nat coming down. Oh well. All right. Let's truck on without her here.
Yeah, exactly. It's the whole point of a meme.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And typically you like the meme too that you'll post, and so people know where it's coming from.
These belong to people.
Yeah.
You create your own memes, though, don't you?
I saw it create some memes.
Your meme game is strong.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, exactly. It's the whole point of it.
Your meme game is strong, sir. Oh, thank you. Yes. Oh God, it's just so painful. So this is the guy that like borrowed $44 billion, and that's what he's doing with it. That's what he's doing with it. Like what else do you add on top of that? And what does he mean, like everything app? Anyway, like I was just saying, he's made everything about Twitter worse since he took it over. So, is he going to make everything worse? Is that what the everything app does? People like Elon certainly make things worse. Woo. Didn't mean to do that. There we go. That's what I wanted to do. Switch screens over here. All right. I keep looking out for her. I want her to join the show. What are we moving on to next here? Yeah, let's move into the summer of strikes. Let's start talking about that. So The Hill has this article, the 5 big questions about the summer of strikes. I don't know how so much they like. I guess it's the important questions. I don't know. I just want to hate on the Hill, but to be honest, this article's fairly neutral voice. It's not so bad. Here, let's put it up on the big screen here. 5 things to know about the UPS Teamsters talks are as strike deadline nears in recovery from the pandemic, and as a result of high inflations, companies like UPS have been raking in record profits, and with 11.5 in net income. Yet, as the cost of housing and goods rise, wages haven't kept up for most workers, and that's like across the board, right? Like that's a universal thing I think most people are feeling, but also a lot of people aren't in unions. So the more union jobs can flex this power, the better the effect it has on everybody, right? Because they're going to, assuming they win, of course, and their demands are met. It's going to change the market for workers all over, right? When you make these jobs pay what they should, and the majority of jobs don't, and people want to get those jobs instead and not to work at your crappy place, or it becomes more beneficial to not work at all than work at your crappy place. And, unfortunately, a lot of people, rather than blame themselves for, being a crappy place to work, not paying enough, combination of the two, they lash out and try and impress workers more, which is just what, companies like UPS, the United Workers, the Writers Guild, they're on strike together now, obviously. In case you've been living under a rock, perhaps you haven't heard that, but that's been happening since July 13th. And that marked the beginning of the strike of the Screen Actors Guild, American Federation of Television Radio Artists, following failed last-minute negotiations with the Alliance of Motion Picture and Television Producers, who is threatening to strike. There's a whole list more. Definitely check it out. Of course, you got UPS there. And one of the questions I've seen is how is this going to affect Biden? And quite frankly, Biden essentially broke the rail strike because he was afraid of tanking the economy, which, for a supposedly pro-union guy is a fairly crummy thing to do. I think, to say the least, it was a fairly crummy thing to do. Definitely going back on his words, again, that's putting it minor because I think it's such a betrayal on multiple levels. But, having the excuse to say, oh, it's, if we don't do something, it's going to ruin the economy. We can't have this happen. Whatever. But, now he's saying, he's hello, thanks for joining us. Now he's saying, this is from The Guardian, that he's supporting the writers and the actors, being his pro-union self, because this isn't really going to, it's not going to affect him positively to be against them for someone in his position. But it was politically favorable at the time with, the striking rail workers when it really meant something. This guy, if it comes out being a win for unions across the board, not just in the entertainment industry, this guy is going to brag about it like he did something. And but when it comes down to brass tacks, I don't think he does much.
Where's my headset?
Oh, sorry, I didn't get your... Here, let me get your headphones. Your mic is on, though. You can...
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's it's cynical to say that, Biden is for unions, but in a very passive way. Realize I'm not even on camera. That this is just kind of like the this is just sort of the status quo, right? Of anyone with real power on the left in the U.S. who is for unions is only for unions in very milquetoast ways, when it's convenient to them, but when it requires any real inconvenience, like for example the railway worker strike, then suddenly all that falls apart. So that sucks.
And people need to collectively call that out. And it's I feel like especially when you're coming up, well, it seems like this perpetual cycle when you're talking about American politics, but when you're coming up to election time and, already the preambles of the election are starting where, Republicans are campaigning, and you're seeing that start to, coalesce. When we're coming into that time, people have a tendency to want to be like, well, just like criticizing the Democrats like this now is only going to hurt their chance to win. We need to like sort of present this united front. And it's like, why?
If you can't criticize them now, then when?
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Like,
Because
this
it's a
isn't
constant thing. It's like, oh, you're just helping Republicans win, and it's just like, well, who you vote for is who you vote for. Like, it's fine if you criticize the hell out of Biden for all the terrible things he's done, but when it comes down to brass tacks, you still cast a ballot for him. Like, those aren't two inseparable things, you know.
Well, yeah, because like as I like to say frequently, that unless the revolution is planned in the next week or so, and you have the sufficient organizing, community building, and people behind you, unless those things are in play, then yeah, after the election, we're still going to be dealing with the status quo and the structures such as they are. So, be idealist, but also be realist. And if the revolution isn't happening tomorrow, then vote for the lesser evil.
Yeah, yeah. And, I would like to believe that, especially since Cornel West, I don't think he's running with the People's Party anymore. I'm glad he got rid of those people. But is running as a Green, a much better move.
Yeah.
I don't, unfortunately, just the structure of American politics, I don't believe it presents as a serious threat. Well, like maybe enough to make Biden lose. There could be that leading to the Republican win, but I don't think there's any serious chance of a third party candidate winning, even if they seem wildly popular. I find it hard to imagine that someone in that position could win in a general election.
Well, like to this point, it would be unprecedented.
Yeah.
But it's also one of those things where it's like, unless you can show me, clear polling numbers and organization that countrywide, they've been able to mobilize people effectively, then, it doesn't matter if in one riding or in two ridings that he's making waves. It's just, he's not going to do it. It's just not going to make it. And I think that I think it's helpful to be idealistic and realistic. Idealistic in, in what you want to happen and in what you support, but realistic in your options when it comes down to any election, whether it be like municipal or federal or what have you. I think that, having some realistic expectations around what you're up against. And this isn't a cynical ploy to vote in Canada for the Liberals.
Sort of appeal to authority or something. Yeah.
Or to, in Canada, it's a bit different. Like, we do have an orange option.
Yeah. And even though the orange option still at this point, like the third party, so to speak, isn't, like it would be unprecedented if they actually like won. The fact that they have many seats, the fact that they have been a serious contender, the fact that they've been the opposition party on both a provincial and federal level, that means they are a very serious contender for that spot.
And so if the U.S. had something similar, right?
Yeah.
Then that would be a different case to call for voting for a third party. But such as it stands right now, unless something like really dramatic happens the next year, then I don't see that being feasible.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But that said,
hey, Katie, thank you for joining us.
Hey, Katie. But all that said, when it comes down to municipal politics, then, we're playing with far fewer numbers here. So I think that really to do something exceptionally new and groundbreaking and brave, like, I think that's where we're going to start, right? Yeah. Like, if we can't even start small like that, then we're fucked.
Well, look at, like, I think a good example of this is, relating it to the Starbucks strikes and like unionizing and stuff like that. It starts small. It starts locally. It starts at a few locations.
Yeah.
and that spreads from there. It inspires people. Other locations started going, well, if they did it, you know,
And
it
that's
starts
the-
to become real. And you know, think globally, act locally, right? You know.
Well, that's the thing too, is that so from
We're talking about unions. Yeah.
finish up tonight's topics. Oh yeah, talking about unions right now, but also unions and just in general, way more left politics than who we're currently electing, and how to make stuff happen. So I used to work and volunteer with rape crisis centers, and the thing about those and domestic violence shelters is that they originated by just individuals in their communities setting things up on their own. The fact that they're government funded somewhat now has little to do with their origins. And so I think that we need to think of all of these kind of grassroots things in the same sort of way. We cannot underestimate how much work it takes. We cannot underestimate how much time it takes.
Yeah, commitment. That's the
personal
real thing.
commitment, absolutely, yeah. And because one complaint that I've seen from men's rights activists, for example, is oh well, they got women's sexual assault centers. Where are the men's sexual assault centers? And
like women had to scrape that up. They had to make that happen. It wasn't something that was handed to them.
And that's the thing. It's like, yeah, you're right. And here's the thing: is that it requires the people who are in the mix of it to organize. And so I don't think that women can effectively create spaces for male survivors because, we don't necessarily know what is needed, but also, how to reach men, how to service what they need to recover. And so we need largely men to do the hard work. Yeah. And, money absolutely helps, but we need men to organize themselves. And that is, it's such a frustrating stopping point. Because so much of the men's rights activists talk about, what women have and men want it. And I'm talking in terms of social supports. And it's like, this was hard fought and we will fight with you, but you need to.
Yeah, it can't be like a feminists are standing in our way thing, because that's not what it is.
Well, it's not just that, but it's like right now, you say that you're fighting for your rights, but you're literally just fighting against other survivors. Like you're not fighting against the status quo.
You're just like turning against each other, and that's
it's just,
very counterproductive and sus.
Yeah, well, it's like that analogy of like a corporation has a plate with 99 cookies, and then a shelter has one cookie, and so the corporation says to the guy who's looking for help, better watch out.
He's gonna take your
cookie, right?
Yeah.
And so we need to look beyond the people who have scant resources to begin with, and we need to ask them for advice and guidance, absolutely, insofar as how they got it, but also we need people boots on the ground to actually do this stuff, set up a if you see a need in your community to set up shelter. Are you able to offer shelter? And that this gets so much more complicated now too, because who the fuck is living in a space where they have extra rooms and stuff to offer right now, when so many people are in their 30s and 40s living with roommates because everything's getting worse. Anyway.
Yeah. It sort of meandered in a couple different topics there, but it comes down to the fundamental thing of reaching out to people in your community and finding something to organize over, and something that's worth doing. And if you can do it on a small scale, it will affect people on a large scale. And kind of relating back to that in this article here, Fayez, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it correctly, Fayez Shakur, chief political advisor to Sanders and executive director of More Perfect Union, this quote here, when working people see that you're sticking your neck out for them, they will reward you. They see you taking arrows for them. And the problem we're running into here when we're talking about Biden is what arrows, you know?
If one can lead people on, someone else can lead them out, if you will.
I'm not sure. You have a typo in there. I'm not sure what that says.
Yeah.
Could you rephrase?
Yeah, please.
Yeah, and so when you think about some of the working class people who are here in the swing voter category, they tend to carry an anger and frustration about an economy that hasn't been working for them, and of course, you know, they're taking that anger and frustration on the guy who is currently president. Mm-hmm. And who ostensibly doesn't seem to be very active in addressing their concerns.
Well, and also that's one thing that's mad frustrating about the makeup of.
Here, you can move over a bit. You're like on the edge of the screen there. Let's get you more in the middle there.
Thank you. No, I want to be further to the left. So that's one of the frustrating things about the political makeup right now is that it is occupied by octogenarians and people who grew up in a time where they were able to secure their own stability and wealth. And
how's Feinstein been doing these days, I wonder? Just thought.
Yeah, but it's just like y'all gotta retire. Like, if you were that far to the left to understand the issues that are going on, one of the issues is you need to fucking retire, right?
Yeah.
Like, if you have the option, you selfish ass.
What do you hold on to? What are you doing? Like, it's bizarre.
Well,
right?
it's like it's not like you need to worry about.
You're rich and you're like 80. Stay home, bro. Like, what are you doing?
Jesus Christ. and I mean that with all the love of my heart. Go home.
Yeah.
Because
even if you're one to go with, like, I don't know why, like, as much
no.
as I love Bernie, I don't know why he continues to do what he did. Like, I feel like he should have, like, taken some very high prospect people under his wing and became some sort of, like, you know, their elder advisor, you know, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Taking on that more that kind of role and really boosting their profile and helping them shape the politics that matter. Well, and but, like, you know, it's just a shame that there's nobody else to ostensibly replace these people, or so they have you believe.
Well, and that's the thing is that, you know, at all levels, where is the succession planning?
Yeah.
Like, this is fucking ridiculous, right?
It's crazy that we still have so few, like, millennials, all in all, occupying any current politics, Canada, U.S.
And it's hurting us.
Yeah,
like
time is forcing their hand in terms of, like, it's just going to happen at some point, right?
Yeah.
But the slowness as to has it, like, the eldest millennials are, like, you know, are in their 40s now.
Yeah.
So.
It is completely obnoxious and inexcusable. Like, honestly, you people, we need to have term limits, honestly, like, in every level of politics. I understand some of the arguments against them, you know, about, like, you know, you can lose out on all this knowledge and stuff, but you don't need to exercise that knowledge from the elected seat. Like, there's other ways that we pass on information.
Yeah.
Who the fuck knew, right? Yeah. Like, yeah, we need new blood because we need people who are living and experiencing the consequences of what's been going on for the past 80 fucking years, right? Like, we just
not the benefactors of that system,
no,
but the people who are actually, like, living its consequences. Absolutely.
Yeah, like, you know, we can't continue to have things run by people who went to elementary school with Moses. This is not reasonable. They don't understand. They aren't affected the same way by things, right? Yeah. because, so far as they know that this is the hottest summer that's going to be, maybe it'll be their hottest summer ever because they won't make it to the next one. And so it's not going to fucking affect them. But guess what? We're still going to be around for a while. I'm going to punch myself in the face.
Yeah. And it's like it can't, and like I was just saying before, it can't be like, these guys and the importance of organizing locally. Because, these guys on the federal level, like Biden, like Trudeau, when it comes down to brass tacks, they're going to give in to their corporate masters, so to speak, as kind of like heavy-handed as that may sound. That's the reality of it. Like as Shakur is pointing out here, Biden should make clear he stands with the workers, stand boldly with these workers, say, I stand with you. You want to go on strike, that's fine. Yep. Yes, there will be costs to consumers. Yes, there will be some challenges to the economy, but your work is essential and important, and you deserve your fair share. And now keep in mind, this quote is what he's saying Biden should say. Biden has yet to say anything of this kind, right? Yeah. So it's fine for him to say this again about something that feels inconsequential and is popular and an easily favorable thing to say, and saying I stand with the writers and the actors. Yep. But when it comes down to something that's really gonna affect the economy in a real way,
crickets. Okay, talking about corporate overlords. Let's go to the funny one.
The funny one?
Yeah.
Oh, which funny one? I talked about Elon at the beginning.
Okay, well we're going back.
And you're going back. You want to comment on X?
Look at this fucking thing.
Yeah.
This is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Look at this logo.
The logo is already live on thing. Is he gonna make it X.com? Is that that?
That's everything I'm hearing.
And it's still Twitter.com as of now.
Well, I'm sure that for a long time, Twitter will at the very least redirect.
Here, I'm gonna try and find that press release video that I showed at the beginning. That again, the sound is very aggressive. I have the audio output turned down just to remind you all.
Amazing.
And it's so you know how we were discussing yesterday, it's just peak edgelord, lame teenager, X is cool, man.
Such a wiener.
So we're so extreme, bro. Yeah. And so just everything about this, the graphic, the font, the overly aggressive sound. So just prepare your ears if you're wearing headphones. So intense.
What? My dude. Oh my god. This is hilarious.
It's so weird.
And I like I love the memes and shit that's coming up about this. One poster was saying so it turns out Twitter is going to try this new video format that will, make things load quicker. You should check it out at xvideos.com.
And come on, we've all been on the internet long enough.
Yeah.
.coms with lots of X's in them.
Yeah,
historically are of a certain genre.
Yeah.
Let's just say.
Yeah.
And so, I don't know what.
And we can't even say historically, as in,
it's
millennia
just always
ago.
been. Yeah, this is pre-internet. That letter is
it's just
associated with adult entertainment.
And especially with a platform like this, who doesn't even support sex workers. I know a lot of sex workers still use the platform.
We were going to touch on some Barbenheimer. We probably will later. But anyway, keep going. I just got distracted by the picture there.
But it's not even that Twitter purposely supports sex workers, right? They still get shadow banned and shit, and So to push forth with an X like this, acting like you are some kind of free speech dude.
I like how it's the universal logo understood in computer speak for closing applications too.
Literally.
Nothing tells you should close this application faster.
Yeah.
Than
yes.
this.
Thank you. You're right. I will. Click.
Yeah. Click.
Yeah. But no, and it is so silly. And this is I don't know if you said this, but yeah, but like this is the basically the end evolution of an edgelord.
Yeah, I don't think I put it in those words, but
Yeah,
I did
so,
talk
like-
about how like it's just like peak edgelordiness.
Yeah, like this is the inevitable conclusion of edgelords who are not given boundaries, who have just unlimited purchasing power, who, you know, no one says no to. This is always the inevitable conclusion.
If you gave like this kind of like 14-year-old dork who like just learned some new cool lingo or swear words from their older brother's friends or something like that, and gave that kid billions of dollars.
Yeah.
And
zero therapy.
And zero therapy.
Yeah.
This is the end result.
This will always be the end result. It's like how
like you say, the final evolution. I like that. It's the final form. It's like how things keep evolving into crabs independently. Yeah. And so this is literally the same thing. Yeah. We have reached crab in
Yes.
the edgelord
evolution cycle. Yes. Yes. Yeah. So yeah, it is just hilarious. Oh, and also, did you touch on? This entire thing is so funny about between the X, which is just silly, stupid bananas, like throwing away Twitter as a company name, which has evolved into a verb, throwing that away, and then Elon sucks. That's nice.
It's got an X in it. He probably thinks it's cool.
So throwing away over a decade of branding that is like just saturated into the cultural zeitgeist, and then so apparently the new term for tweets is going to be X's.
Who's gonna say that?
No one's gonna say that.
Yeah, I'm just Xing right now. What?
Not on work time, you're not. But like on top of that, so and apparently like they even went so far as to take down the Twitter logo from the headquarters today, but they didn't even secure permits to be able to do this work, so the city shut them down. Like, nothing is thought through. Everything about this is just like the fact that anyone has enough money to be this stupid all the time.
Something I will repeat from the beginning of the episode: like this guy was fired from PayPal because he, and I think in part because he wanted to insist on keeping it X.com. But after they fired him, it became PayPal.
Yeah,
and he only got rich off of it because despite being fired, he still maintained like his shares. So when the other guys made PayPal really successful, he just got really rich from that.
Yeah.
And so, yeah.
Yeah, and apparently X as like a not this particular incarnation of the logo, but the X apparently is copyrighted by Meta.
No.
I sent you the link
in
your messenger.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I don't think like just an X in that font like can be copyrighted. Period. Can it?
The font itself is like a freeware font, so you can't copyright that font.
Yeah. Okay. So that okay. That's what I was speaking to earlier then, because I knew I had read somebody who said that. I'm like, really? Like that sounds like something Elon would do. But...
Okay, go down a bit.
Okay.
So, the mark information showed up on the screen.
What do we got here?
Okay.
What are we looking at?
So, this is the copyright information. Mark information, mark literal elements, X. Standard character claimed now. I don't know a lot of this, but so it describes this particular logo, but it's also described as an X, and then go down to current owner's information.
Meta Platforms Incorporated.
Yeah.
So
and this is from 2017.
Wow. Is it like, yeah, if they still own this, is that potential for...
I don't know. I don't
what were
care.
They using
it's
this
so
for?
funny.
What was it?
I don't know. I can't remember. Honestly, it doesn't matter. Like, the details at this point don't really matter. What matters is that all of this is...
It's got to be under goods and services.
for computer software for broadcasting, transmitting, receiving.
Receiving, accessing, viewing, uploading, downloading, sharing, integrating, encoding. So is it just like a subsidiary, I guess? Like, does this company do their programming? I don't know. Okay, weird. Whatever. Meta owns it, though, and so it's just like, oops. Even I got to do that at least once an episode. Click on that at the wrong time. Yeah. That's sure.
Like this just gets
Let the
funnier
plot
all the fucking time.
thicken there.
Yeah, we are in the weirdest timeline.
I don't know if Elon is legitimately like this dumb or he's just like ruining Twitter on behest of his corporate donors and like investors that gave him the money to do this. Like if there's some sort of like long game for them in this, or like, you know, is he doing that or is he just really dumb? Or it's both. It could just very much be both.
I don't think he's Andy Kaufman.
Yeah. Like, well, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not like it's his brainchild. He's just doing what he's told, right?
No. I said, like, this is... Given how things have gone since 2016, I don't think that this is all intentional. No. Like, just look at the past 7 years. Like, what else? What more can I say?
That picture of him in front of the shattered, unbreakable window. That's
walking into Twitter headquarters with a sink.
Rock on. Let that sink in. Like that pun doesn't even work in that situation. Who's the sink? Are you? What is sinking in? What did the joke doesn't even work in that context. Yeah. It just doesn't work.
No. Yeah. So I'm just reveling in this because everything is so weird and bleak.
Yeah.
Let's go to Barbenheimer.
Yeah.
Speaking of like these little bright spots of the weirdest timeline, I love everything about this.
We haven't seen
either
of the movies yet.
Yeah.
We're super stoked to. Definitely want to.
Yeah.
But just like the reactions that it has elicited from everyone, even like fans and not fans alike.
Yeah.
You know, like this fucking nerd. Like, bro, okay, I'm not saying honestly, like, I'm at the point with this guy in particular, especially, of giving him views, like the hate views or the we're just gonna laugh at him views, because tell me, again, like maybe I'm giving him too much credit here, but I'm pretty certain he knows what he's doing with this, right? Like, yeah, he's a total fucking schmuck and a dork, but he has to know that behaving this way is going to get people to share the shit out of his content.
Yeah.
And get him more views and get him more money.
Yeah, honestly, like, dude, I didn't consent to being involved in your humiliation kink. Like, I really didn't.
Yeah. Like this adult man that poises himself as some paragon of righteous masculinity and being a true family man.
Yeah.
You know. Is doing this and made a 45-minute video complaining about how Barbie movie is woke.
Yeah.
Like, you genuinely can't take that seriously, right?
Yeah.
Like, you can't say that this is a serious person with serious politics
that we should be paying attention to.
That we should be genuinely concerned about. Unfortunately, in a way, because of just the amount of money backing his operation, it's an area of concern. But just like based on what he says, like why get hung up on this, you know? Like, just you can look at this and be like, yeah, that dude obviously sucks. I don't need to watch his 45-minute video crying about the girls dolls movie.
Yeah But
you
on the
genuinely
opposite,
don't need to watch it. Like, it's like, like, I'm so tired of the argument where people are like, you know, if you can't watch the content of the people that disagree with you, it's like we do that all the time. A lot of us do that all the time. We
Yeah.
don't need to watch that.
No.
You don't.
Yeah.
You really don't. There's not going to be anything enlightening in there. Anything enlightening in there. I can promise you.
Well,
It's not there.
It's also like life is so short.
Yeah.
We have
yeah.
but one fleeting life on this planet.
If you want to watch cheesy bad content, I think there's a lot better cheesy bad content you could be watching. Like if you want to digest garbage, there's higher quality garbage you could be ingesting.
Like something like slapped ham.
Yeah, yeah.
God bless you, Callum. But you know,
It's
you
absolute
were
trash,
silly.
But watch Slapped Hand. We love those silly paranormal videos where
Yeah.
it's like, like it looks like there's a demon in the background, and
Perhaps it's a signal of the end of days.
yeah.
No, maybe it's an ugly child, Callum.
Yeah.
Maybe the demon in the background is just an ugly
Somebody's
child.
literal shadow. Yeah.
Yeah.
Any number of things.
Just let people be
yeah,
ugly, Callum.
yeah.
Just let people be ugly.
And it's funny because like we're the kind of people who we're totally veering off subject here,
That's
but we're the kind of people that are sort of almost like reverse skeptical. Like I'm an atheist, right? But I would love to believe that there's something to this paranormal stuff. I would be so on board. Like I if I saw something that was pretty undeniable, I wouldn't deny it, right? And so I probably just wouldn't be the guy that there has to be a rational explanation. I'd be like, yeah, that was crazy. I gotta take it for what it is, But we've yet to see that kind of content, honestly. As much as we got the I want to believe spirit, everything we see is just like, oh, come on.
Yeah. Well, and it's like
who's buying into this?
Yeah, on the odd occasion we'll see something, we'll be like, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Right? And not
or they at least put a lot of effort into making that look cool and legit.
Yeah. Or at least look cool if not legit.
If not legit,
yeah. So it's like,
at least it was spooky.
Yeah. So some of it is like, you know what? Good on you. Like, I can tell you put work into this, so bravo.
But I can tell you this. How much work do you think he put into this? He's literally just like standing next to a trash can and putting the Barbies in the garbage, and I think he lights it on fire if I saw that correctly in another clip floating around Twitter. But yeah, honestly, and now we're at the point with Twitter where guys XX or with Xer, I don't know how you're supposed to say that. Just X? Really? You just say X? It's so stupid. But we're at this point with it where these guys get paid for their impressions, because the more that their tweets are seen, the more the ads below their tweets are seen, and they're getting thousands of dollars in revenue from this, even though that's obviously completely unsustainable on Twitter's part. There's no way, they're not even a profitable company right now. There's no way they can keep that going. Just another example of how he seems to be purposefully burning the place down. But these guys now have even more of an incentive on a whole new platform to be purposeful schmucks to get you to look at and share their content.
But it's also funny because everything else has already driven down their viewership. And so, if you, let's say that you started off with a platform that had 10 people on it and you drove five of them away. Even if all of your viewers are watching this one post, it's still only 5, right? You can't keep driving people away and make money. That's not how things work. You need to kind of pick a side. I mean, we know which side he's picked. He's picked the Nazis.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Oh yeah, you look at, for the non-Twitter people, if you spend any amount of time on Twitter these days, you're already fully aware of this. But to the non-Twitter people, the people that pay for verification get their tweets boosted, in particular in replies. So if you have say a politician whose politics you agree with, or you're following because you want to support them, rest assured, all the responses you are guaranteed to see are from people who viciously hate this person and are yelling at them and saying the most horrid things to them, with their paid blue checks being the first replies that you see. And it's so consistent. Like when you're talking about, like, Nina Turner, who's a good American left-wing politician, very pro-worker, very, progressive person all around. And especially because she's a black woman, the just like hateful responses that are boosted below every single one of her tweets. The vast majority of these people paying for these blue checks are not, they're all of a certain, I shouldn't say all, but mostly of a certain political persuasion. And this little system in that Elon has made for them is particularly beneficial to that sector of their politics and the people they want to harass and the things they want to put into the world.
Yeah. So, free speech, but some speech is freer.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, like
Animal Farm.
it's funny that he's like, yeah. And he was talking about how, he posted the other day about how Orwell was based. And it's like, yeah, what based for giving you the idea of taking Twitter, this kind of like open platform where anybody could have their voice heard, and making it like a classed, tiered system of inequality where you got to pay to play. Yeah.
What a wiener. Like, just for the amount of money that he's lost that none of us will ever in our lives see.
Yeah.
Just fucking shocking. What else were we going to touch on?
I think we more or less did everything there, because that was the extent of how I really wanted to touch on Barbenheimer, was how that schmuck holding an atomic bomb in one hand and the Barbie doll in the other. Yeah.
What a dork.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He loves props. He's so theatrical. He loves his props. His little block of wood and the when he was at the Home Depot.
It's not even good theatrical. It's just
Well, he's a failed Hollywood person himself, and that's like partially what drives some of this behavior. I think
you could have stopped at failed.
Yeah. He's just a failed. But like in particular, he wanted very much to be like a Hollywood screenwriter, and the fact that he was, just lock, stock, and barrel rejected
because he sucks
and he's bad, that he's obviously had a chip on his shoulder against them in particular. Hence why he's trying to he writes his own lame ass spy novels. He and makes movies like Terror on the Prairie with what's her face, who got fired from Mandalorian for making inappropriate Holocaust references.
Yeah, the company you keep, it tells you what.
Yeah. Well, it's funny. Like all in all, I'm glad. Twitter exists, I guess you could say. I hope somehow it gets better and gets out of Elon's control or something like that. Mm-hmm. Because there is a lot of potential there for it to be like a legitimately good platform, and it has its benefits despite all its faults and things like that. But make no mistake, Twitter or Elon is making it worse actively every day. It gets a little bit worse.
Literally,
yeah.
How could you even? Oh my god, yeah, no. I don't know how someone could consistently suck this badly. Yeah. It is so funny.
Yeah.
And like you can, and everything that I hear about his previous successes were just because he had enough people to say no, or at least to, nod their head and then not do what he said.
Yeah.
But him taking control of Twitter like this seems to be, a marked difference between, things going on at SpaceX and Tesla. Not that he was doing great at those either. He had enough power to, to Cybertruck.
Yeah, the fucking Cybertruck. Like nothing demonstrates the pinnacle of Elon more than that picture. Here, I gotta find it now. We just gotta see it.
It's so good. Oh my god, it's just like.
I'm gonna just type in Cybertruck fail. And I'm pretty sure, there it is. First thing that comes up.
Yeah.
Is the video. I don't even want the video though. I just want the picture.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like in particular with that one with that look on his face. That just like this sort of like weird blank 1,000-yard stare as he's standing in front of his obvious failure.
You dork.
Yeah. It's just incredible. That's incredible stuff.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't. How long ago did that happen? This is a few years ago, at least.
Oh man, I want to say 2016. Like maybe
it
I
could
think
be that long
maybe
ago.
I think everything
You're
happened in
not right.
2016. I'm not sure.
2016 was the last year that happened, and then there was a flash.
And then there was a
pandemic,
pandemic, and here we are.
Snapped out of existence like Thanos. And
find out for me. Just click into like literally any of them.
Okay, yeah, like there's got to be a date on here, right? Okay, visit. Here we go. Oh no, I clicked on the Fox one.
2019.
2019. Okay,
right.
so
you know,
4 years ago.
Potato, tomato. Like, it's all the same.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, no, that's that sums it up. But like, show me anything of how he's dealt with anything, how it is differentiated from this.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just such like the perfect symbol of everything that he is that picture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, things are funny.
Yeah. So we just about rounded out the hour.
Yeah.
It looks like, and thank you for joining us once again. We're going to try and stick to this schedule. Although Nat's going to be gone next Sunday, you're going to be out of town.
Yes.
Are you going to phone into the show? Is that going to be a thing? I'm putting her on the spot now.
Yeah, probably.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. All right. We will have Nat live via satellite.
There's satellites involved somewhere,
yeah,
I'm sure.
Yeah. Somewhere along the way. There's always satellites.
Yeah. Watching
every move.
Yeah.
I always feel like
somebody's watching me.
Oh God, we're so nerdy. So yeah, let's cue up the music. There we go. Thank you once again for joining us. Yeah, we'll be back next Sunday unless we suddenly say otherwise. We wanted to do yesterday, but then we were like, we thought of like everything we were going to talk about, and then we were like, I'm really tired, and so we waited till today. So yeah, thank you for.
And plus, we've been watching the TV show Ghosts, and it's hard to get away from Ghosts.
Yeah,
it's so good.
Ghosts is very good. Not that I recommend committing crimes, but maybe like don't pay for a service to watch. I mean, if you already have the subscription, I guess.
It's on Prime.
Yeah.
Or your torrenting streaming service of choice.
Your preferred torrenting service, yeah. In solidarity with the striking people. All right, everybody.